I didn't hate it.
We're gonna start with that.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, and I didn't like it.
I wrote it down the way I was thinking of. It has all the parts, all the pieces, but the execution was hard to take.
That, I think, is pretty much it.
Yeah.
The storyline itself and the things and the pieces and the people that, like, the actors.
I love there's no build-up. We're just getting right into what we thought of it.
Yeah.
It was a mess. It had pieces that could have been great, but you're right. The execution wasn't great.
It needed an editor.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like, take another cut at that movie. Just do that.
What I think they needed to do was, it felt like there was at least 2 movies, maybe more, sort of crammed together into one movie, and it didn't work. It didn't do any of them well enough.
But you know what it did do great?
What?
Dream sequences.
Oh, God.
There were 5 dream sequences in that goddamn movie.
My favorite dream sequence, the nightmare dream sequence, is I like to think of it as the one where Batman had a dream that he was in a shitty 90s Elseworlds comic.
Is that the Omega Dream? That's what I call it.
Yeah. Yes, we're like Hitler Superman. He's fighting Hitler Superman and just killing people with machine guns. Would just be a really shitty Elseworlds comic in like the mid-90s. And it was in a movie.
I was calling it the Omega Dream followed by the Flash Hole.
Don't go in the Flash Hole.
I like that when the Flash showed up, he's like, oh, am I really? Oh, jeez.
Well, like, when he popped out there, like, the suit with, like, panels and stuff, I was just like, I couldn't tell who it was. Until I realized, like, after that, immediately after that happened, I'm like, oh, that was the Flash. Oh, that was the Flash.
Well, he starts coming through, and I'm like, this has to be the Flash, but...
Yeah, but it
I'm like, what?
It was a weird-looking costume, though.
Yeah.
It was a little confusing.
I think over-designed and not...
But you couldn't see the full costume.
That's true.
Like, you were only seeing really, like, kind of the headpiece. And I wasn't even sure if, like, the headpiece had a mask, or it was ripped. Like, because I don't know if he's all beaten up by this point or something.
I feel like they just wanted to show his face.
Yeah.
But it did seem like it was like metal panels or something, right? It sort of seemed like it.
I couldn't tell at all.
It's good.
I would have to see
good aerodynamic, I think.
Yeah. But, okay, while we're on that, then I'll say, like, I went with 2 of my friends who are not comic book people at all. Yeah. And they make me go with them to see all the comic book things so that I can explain it to them.
How'd that go?
Well, it's usually pretty good. Like, it'll be like the hint of thing, like, well, we'll see at the end of Avengers. Who's that? That's Thanos. Who's Thanos? Well, it's this. Like, and it's just that little hint of a thing, and it's like a 30-second thing, if that.
Yeah.
Or like a 5-second thing.
There wasn't a post-credits thing, right?
There was not.
I didn't think so.
We were going to wait around, and I quickly Googled it. I'm like, no. But then the guys behind us said, oh, there is one. And I was like, I'm just going to take the chance that there isn't one.
Yeah. Well, it's like, if you don't want to stay, just in case, how invested were you in the movie?
Exactly.
I was with, me and Sherry went. Well, without saying too much, she didn't hate it either, but as soon as the credits started going, it's like, we're getting out of here, we're going. She was just didn't want to stick around.
Well,
hate's a strong word.
Hate's a strong word. Yeah. And the thing is, like, if you can disassociate it from being a Batman Superman movie, was it an okay action movie? I actually didn't mind it as, like, an action sci-fi kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, if you can just take it as that, I'm like, it was okay. It was troubled. It just had points. And like, going back to, I was with Jamie and Jesse, and we were driving home, and I was like, did you understand parts of this? And I was talking specifically about the Omega Dream, and they're like, I had no fucking clue. And that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? For the people that really know it and know that storyline, you're gonna get it. But...
And for me, I mean, like
a huge portion will not. And like, that's really long piece to do that people are gonna get.
Excuse me. For me, it was nice having, again, there were like little nods and Easter eggs and stuff like that were nice for me to see as a fan, but took away from the movie. Like, they added nothing. Like, that entire nightmare sequence, how much time did they waste on that?
It was about 10 minutes.
Like, if the point of it was trying to show how Batman's paranoid about Superman, they already established that. We did not need that. That was already very clear.
But then it was also, I just didn't know, like, is he a precog now? Like, where did that come from? And how was that even... Crimes. Like, I drink too much, and then I fall asleep, and then I see the future.
Yeah. I've been doing it for 20 years. But nobody knows about it, apparently.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay attention to that first one where my parents got shot.
Like, just because you say a few times, 20 years, you need to establish more than just that.
Yeah.
Because Perry White has not heard of this guy until, in the past 4 months.
Yeah.
I know that all movies have plot holes.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And usually it's not a big deal, because usually it's something you can easily explain away. This one had a lot of plot holes.
Well, it did, and Well, but there was like just weird things like this should have happened. That like why didn't the character just do this?
There were a lot of moments,
and then I was catching myself when I was writing this stuff down, going, okay, I'm nitpicking of stupid things. I can do that in any movie.
Yeah,
you can. But there were a few moments where it just specifically it felt like, you know what I mean? Like they created conflict or they created like a situation, like a dramatic situation just based on people being stupid.
Yeah.
Like it was just like they did something dumb just so they could get into a dramatic situation or a dramatic fight or whatever.
They just need like a story plot like 2 words could fix this. Yeah.
And I know that happens a lot in movies and TV, so I don't want to nitpick this one.
You mean harshly. Like Bruce, Lex Luthor has my mother hostage. Could have just said
immediately.
Yeah.
No fight.
Immediately. Yeah.
No fight.
I know.
Wait, what's your mom's name? That's my mom's name. That is so crazy.
I wanted to kill you for like hours, for days and days, but now we're bros forever. That's it? All right. Yeah, well, there's more stuff.
There's things like that. Even that, okay, whatever. I can forgive stuff like that because that literally is almost every movie. If you don't have that, then you have a fantastic movie that's like, it's The Godfather. And, or, something like that. That's held up for being a fantastic movie. But then it's just, and you'll like this, I walked out of there going, that was too dark. I know.
Here's the thing. We're in a weird state. Because you like Man of Steel a lot more than I did. I hated Man of Steel. But I liked this more than Man of Steel. But mostly because I thought Man of Steel was boring. And I didn't think this was boring.
Well, going
honestly,
with Jamie, Jamie said the same thing. He said he enjoyed Man of Steel more, or less, than this one.
Yeah.
He enjoyed this one more.
Like, it could very easily be argued Man of Steel was a better movie than this.
Well, it had more focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a movie.
I think it was a clearer...
I didn't like
a clearer narrative.
Yeah.
This movie, so many things got introduced, and it seems like nothing was really given the proper amount of time to just, like, breathe.
Yeah,
instead they just like, no, more slow motion.
It was one of those setup movies where it's like, oh, we gotta get to this point, so let's do all this stuff.
They didn't need to show that many characters. Like, the part where Wonder Woman is watching the video is, like, completely unnecessary.
There was,
show logos. That's good enough. You don't need to see everyone in action. You don't need to see everyone's origins.
I was like, a part of me was like, I want to see it, but at the same time, exactly.
You're
gonna ruin it if you show it.
There's a brutally mean review. There's a guy named Movie Bob online. He described that scene as like somebody gave Wonder Woman a press kit for the upcoming DC movies, and she watched it in her room. That was what that scene was, and it was noted a few times online too. It's like they had like their names and their symbols on there. Yeah. So did Lex Luthor design those for them? He's working as their marketing guy, apparently.
Yes,
because they're just dudes.
Do you want to talk about Lex?
Ugh, do I?
I didn't like him at first. I liked him more further that we got in. Mm-hmm. He wasn't the Lex I was picturing. He was more like Lex mixed with the Joker.
Yeah, or like Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, but it was like, okay, you have to do a different sort of take, and he's been done how many times? You can't just do the same thing, and so it's like it was a hard place for and Eisenberg's a weird guy.
Yes.
To begin with. So it's like you just picked a weird guy to do this.
It's weird that we kind of come from opposite place, but I liked him more at the beginning and less as it went on.
Really? Okay.
Because as it went on, he just seemed more like bugfuck nuts and inconsistent. Like in the beginning, he seemed like he was like an eccentric, like young billionaire kind of a guy. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're going for with that. All right, I can sort of get that. As it went on, it was just like, it seemed like his motivations were like all over the place. A little bit, you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like...
Well, I think he just had one idea that didn't work out. Let's go to this one. And it was weirdly convenient and whatever.
Yeah. There's the scene where he's giving a speech and he loses track of what he's talking about halfway through.
Yeah.
How come?
Yeah.
That happened.
But it seems
and
like
they left it in the movie. And I feel like once you've established a character and you've got a lot to do in this movie, you can move on. You don't have to have a weird little thing like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you like?
Oh, Lawrence Fishburne.
Your sports.
Every time Lawrence Fishburne was on screen, he was funny. He was awesome. Like, he was great as Perry White. He was so much better in this movie than he was in Man of Steel. He was like, every time he was there, he just lit it up as far as I'm concerned. I loved him.
The guy sitting right behind me was just like, everything he said, just like a belly laugh.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't really a joke.
Yeah. But I mean, like, he was naturally funny, and that might be part of like that kind of thing. It might be part of why I kind of enjoyed this movie more than Man of Steel, because there were parts where I was like, "Oh, that's fun, that's funny."
That's weird because I found it so much darker. I almost found it like
in a lot of ways.
And I think largely because of the music. I became very conscious of the music all the time, and it was all bum bum bum. They're just walking down a hall.
Yeah.
What? Okay. I'm turning the corner. Holy shit.
The thing, I mean, and even the infuriating thing is they had a lot of interviews and stuff with, Zack Snyder, and he made some comments at one point. I don't know what they were exactly, but he was basically trying to say, his movie was more serious and more of a film than you're getting from, Marvel. And it's just I don't know. I think my read on Zack Snyder is that he's a very pretentious Michael Bay with no self-awareness.
Well, he wants to be taken serious.
He wants to be taken seriously, but he's pretty good at doing dumb popcorn movies. And I think he really wanted to make a smart film.
He's good at a certain sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah,
he's the king of the blurry close-up slow-mo thing.
Slow-mo.
That movie was at least 60% close-ups. Really close up with all
with some
blur
editing,
in the background.
tighten things up. If you sort of took away what some of Zack Snyder's ticks out of that movie, it could have been shorter and better.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true. I you know what I mean? I feel like he really wanted to make a smart, and there are some smart ideas in it, but none of them are actually executed smartly.
Yeah.
It's like you have an idea, but you can't actually.
Well, that's what I mean. It has the pieces and it has the bits, and you could tell where they were going, and the storyline itself is really not bad. It's why did Batman hate Superman? Why is Superman going after Batman? And whatever, and it all makes sense.
And you have an ideological conflict there.
Yeah.
Because, again, you have, not going to talk too much about Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? That's the foundation of this movie, and if my complaints are about Man of Steel, they're not about this movie, so whatever. I'll just accept it for what it is. But you get, that scene in the beginning with the fight happening in the Wayne building and everything like that, and Bruce...
The first time you see Superman in that movie, he's being thrown into a building.
Yeah. And then, they laser a building and they kill people and blah, blah, blah. And Bruce utterly traumatized and horrified by that.
Yeah.
Basically fueling everything. The entire
which
movie
I thought was great.
That.
I was like, that was smart. And we already kind of knew that was going on.
I will say, and I did like that, though I found it a little odd in the final fight with Doomsday, how Bruce is like, let's bring him into the city. What? Every single thing in this movie has been fueled by you being traumatized by someone who did that.
Wait, bring him back to the spear, you mean?
Yes, but into the city. He's like, we gotta bring him into the city.
Why
but
he
did say at one point, he's like, I brought him to the wharf. It's empty here. There's no one here.
Yeah, they made a point to...
They made a point of saying that.
Though it did seem a bit tacked on, I think.
But we already established that was a pretty empty... There was nobody there.
Sure.
Anyway. So it was like, we're in the middle of a city right now, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
and take him
and I get
to Gotham, which is suddenly across the river.
He's on an island, and he seems pretty content to just have a shitty boy tantrum on that island that were nowhere near the city, leading him closer to the city.
What are you talking? It wasn't an island.
Yeah, it was Stryker's Island.
That was in the middle of the city, was it not?
No, it was between Metropolis and Gotham.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah. Just so close.
I got the sense that it was
having an angry tantrum, and then Batman engaged him, and then let him into the city.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in the abandoned part of the city, but still into the city. It just seemed very inconsistent with literally everything we knew about that character for 2.5 hours, but...
I think one thing I really did like was once Wonder Woman actually started doing stuff, she was great.
She was
absolutely.
She was she was a warrior.
She was
just like, I'm into this fight.
That point where she got hit, she just gets knocked down, you see her get up and she smiles. Yeah. And it was like,
that's somebody who's been doing this for so long.
Exactly.
And
that's how you have to do her, as the warrior, she's older than the rest of them, she's much more experienced, she's smarter, she's quicker, and knows what she's doing. I liked her as Wonder Woman, and I liked Affleck as Batman. I know a lot of people didn't like him,
I've been saying the whole time
I really liked it. I think he was perfect for it.
Was way too casual about machine gunning people to death, but then again, every single Batman movie pretty much does that. I don't like it. It drives me nuts, but I can't complain more about that than most other Batman movies.
One thing I did notice, when he shot the tracker onto that truck that was taking the kryptonite, and then crashed the Batmobile into it off of a rooftop, if he had been like an inch...
he would have taken
he would have screwed himself.
He's like, I just tracked myself.
Rather than another Batmobile scene, it's 1 or 2 Batmobile scenes per Batman movie, I would much rather have seen him break into LexCorp and steal the kryptonite, which we only got to see the aftermath of.
Yeah.
Actually seeing Batman being Batman for a while and sneaking around, I would have enjoyed that.
Like some stealth. Yeah. But that's subtle. And I don't think Zack Snyder's very subtle.
Also, and I just want to get this out because I wanted to mention when Doomsday is shooting Batman with his Deadpool vision, and he grapples to one building, grapples to another, and then immediately falls down, hits a wall. Like, you just look cool for 5 seconds, please.
He's trying.
He looks down, his foot's caught in a pot.
He's caught in one of those, like, pop can 6-ring things.
It's the Simpsons scene when he was trying to get next door with the broken leg. He keeps stepping in things, and then he's just dragging like a dog.
There were rakes everywhere.
If there's one thing that this movie set up, it's Alfred is the real smarts and go-to behind Batman, because he fucking did everything. He was like, I'm fixing, like, your wounds. Yeah. I'm repairing your car. I'm like, all of a sudden I'm just chiming in. Sorry, I was just listening in. This is where you have to go now, because you haven't looked it up yet, and you have no way of tracking this person. But I do, because I'm just on the back gate. Just hanging out.
I hope they don't kill me, because they killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons was pretty great, actually. He
was okay.
I liked him.
I liked Jeremy Irons, and I wanted more, but I thought it was really flat. They didn't give him much to do.
He was dry like Alfred, but he was grumpy.
Yeah, he was a grumpy
old man.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, it established that the Affleck Batman. I liked him. I liked a lot about him. I think he got Bruce Wayne and Batman done quite well. He was very good in those roles. He seemed kind of dumb. He didn't seem that smart. He got manipulated very easily.
I looked at a couple of websites and reviews and things and blogs, and one of the things I did agree with, it was like, well, he's not the world's greatest detective.
No.
Like, he was more of a brute.
Yeah.
Which, in a way, like, the later version, like in the Dark Knight stuff, he kind of was. And if that's what they were going for, it's not like, he's like, I can't do subtle anymore, but I can put on a suit and beat the crap out of somebody. And that's what
I can punch your head right into the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of a movie where every character was a blunt instrument.
Yeah.
Like even Superman. Like there's one scene, with the terrorist, right, where he, the terrorist has Lois.
Oh right. Yeah.
And he bursts down
right after the guy kills Jimmy Olsen.
Oh yeah, that photographer in the credits was Jimmy Olsen, who got shot in the head. So they made a Superman movie where Jimmy Olsen got shot in the head.
It very much seems like they want to do a big universe, but they only want to be able to do it for like 6 years.
Because everybody will be dead.
Yeah, they're just killing everybody.
It's, but back to the thing.
But I thought Jimmy Olsen was black.
Different universe.
Yeah.
I actually like that Jimmy Olsen now.
He's charming.
He's charming. I would like to kiss him.
Yeah.
He's very attractive. Yeah.
It's the episode where we question some things.
Yeah, that's fine. I went to college.
Yeah. Hey.
College boy here.
That scene again, where the terrorist had a gun to Lois's head, and Superman's there, and she sort of like steps back, like sort of
gears up for something.
Let's go, and then he smashes him through like 3 walls, which I assume killed him.
Yeah,
but the thing too, I think that Snyder uses Superman as a blunt instrument, like all the time, like smash, boom, lasers. There was a great scene for him to use his powers creatively, like we've seen before. His eyes light up, the gun goes red hot, he drops it.
That's what I was expecting.
And then he just flicks him unconscious.
That, or, you know what, he's also super fast.
Yeah.
Dude, Lois is gone. And
exactly.
This guy's standing there.
He's holding the gun. There's just a little green thing. He's holding it. Like, there's so many opportunities.
Then he shoots
him. Yeah.
Super fast.
This movie, yeah. But, they have opportunities there for him to use his powers in a creative and subtle and interesting way. And it just, every time, he just smashes shit. Like, they're so focused on the fact that he's strong that they miss all the potential for other stuff.
Okay, while we're talking about Superman, I found him to be, he was almost a supporting character.
Yeah.
He wasn't...
Well,
it was all about how people perceive him and not him.
It was all him reacting to everybody else and him not really doing anything. It drove the plot, but it also which I got, but at the same time, it just...
He was just utterly filled with doubt. Like, every single time somebody says, hey, you're this, I don't like that you're this, he was just like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, didn't they establish it had been like a year and a half since the last movie? Like, he'd been Superman for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you have some idea of who you are? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get the point that the movie was trying to analyze him in that way, but...
And let me also just say that you can tell that there's been too many Superman movies when I'm watching it and like we're into the part where Lois Lane's there and they're talking and stuff and then they go into the bathroom scene where she's in the bathtub and it suddenly dawns on me. I'm like, doesn't she have a kid? Don't they have a kid? And I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's not... And it literally took me 10 minutes to go, fuck, that wasn't that movie. That was another movie.
It's another flawed movie.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we just gave up on that one. Oh, well.
It's weird. It's almost like, I don't know, I almost feel sometimes like if they could take parts of Superman Returns and say parts of this and put them together, they might be a good Superman movie.
I mean, like, they did accomplish a lot, even if, I don't know, the movie is kind of skippable.
Yeah, it is.
Like, a
lot is set up to
a lot is set up, but they don't give stuff time to, to show why we should care about all the stuff that's set up.
The pacing was just so non-stop.
The characters, and this has always kind of been a thing with DC in comparison to Marvel. Marvel has characters, DC has icons.
Yeah.
And these were iconic characters, but, like, why do we care about them?
Yeah.
They still do have distinct, interesting, engaging personalities.
And flaws and whatever,
but people sort of forget that. Like, they were aiming for mythic with this.
Yeah.
And it did feel, again, I feel like it fell a bit short of that, but also they did that at the expense of the characters in a way, and it just didn't, Like, there's so many things, like, they tried to do this, and they didn't quite get it, and they missed out on opportunities along the way.
And part of me hates to, like... Everybody's shitting on this. And they're shitting on it too much, I think. Like
the reviews are a little too harsh.
It's filled with pure hatred.
It could have been Trank.
It's not, it's not
true.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Like, it's not...
These were definitely called Superman and Batman.
True.
Yeah.
But it's... I don't want it to be that, where we're just...
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Jumping on the bandwagon and like, just adding to the fuel on the fire of Let's be snarky and use like pseudo-intellectual things in my blog where I say this, just to be crass and funny.
I kind of like.
Here's a cultural reference just to be throwing that in. Like, and it just that's all I was reading was stupid stuff like that.
I know. To you, I say bazinga.
I'm glad that we're kind of on the same page. Interestingly, like I think we can all kind of agree. And again, like I would argue that I probably would have been the most biased against it going in.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I still found stuff that I enjoyed. Like, I don't think it was the worst thing. It certainly wasn't. It was deeply flawed, but...
It was flawed as a movie narrative, but it had the right ingredients. That you can come out with it with those ingredients in your head and go, okay, I got what you were doing. It just didn't quite work, but I see what the direction
I'll give it points for ambition because it was ambitious. Like there's a lot of things that they played with that they clearly thought that they did better than they did. In execution, I don't think it's good at all. Like as a movie, I don't think it's a good movie. It's a bad movie in my opinion, but it's not. It's entertaining and there's enough in there. There's enough in there, though, that had potential that you sort of want to... You can at least acknowledge that and give it points for that.
Yeah. I really do think if... Like, I'm sure there's going to be a whole ton of fan edits. Yeah. I'm sure one of them is going to make it, like, a super good movie that I'd like to watch a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, the gauntlet is down, Topher Grace.
Oh, yeah? Shit.
Y'all know. One thing I did like, if I could say one other thing I like, the focus on the mothers... More so than the fathers, I found, for like Batman and Superman.
You know what? And that was probably the one point where I was surprised and delightfully surprised in a totally other movie that I never thought about Martha and Martha. That never even occurred to me.
They never ever. They're always like an afterthought at that. Like Martha Wayne is nobody. Yeah. It's always about Thomas Wayne. That's it.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was more, it seemed like, you know what I mean? Like they had that flashback and she's the one mixed, again, everything about this. I say something good and then there's something bad.
She's the one who shot in the face.
Yeah.
And
she fought back.
Yeah.
Which I like because she was the one to fight back. She was like trying to fight back, which was nice. Like a little bit.
He clenched the fist and he just went to go.
And then he went down and she, got in there. And I know they were doing a Dark Knight Returns scene where, like, her pearls in Dark Knight Returns got caught in his arm and he pulled it back and it shot her and then they broke. This one, that would have been fine. I thought the pearls getting caught on the gun and when it cocked back, it burst.
That was
the stupidest thing. That was I was laughing. Like, I could not stop laughing at that.
I know.
And then they showed it twice.
I know, they were so close, and I was like, really? Wow.
Like,
but that was almost immediately followed by bats literally lifting him up.
Lifting him into the sky.
That was a dream sequence. Come on.
It was
all a dream sequence.
I'm convinced the entire movie was a dream sequence. The after credit scene is Bruce wakes up at the desk again, like, oh, it's like, do you know that there's a guy, the Superman guy? What?
There's gonna be like 5 movies, and then all of a sudden Alfred wakes up and he's in like a crumpled Batman costume.
Yeah.
And it's like Underoos, and he's like, and he was never a butler. I do have to bring up the trailers, the plethora of trailers, and the fact that basically showed the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did. There was nothing in there that surprised me.
When they finally revealed Doomsday in the trailers, I remember talking to a friend of mine, Pat, and we were both like, holy shit, I can't believe you just...
Yeah, you
hinted at it, and everybody kind of knew, but then, yeah, you wasted that reveal. And then I could have sworn Snyder came out and went, don't worry, this is not the reveal of everything. He's not the main villain, or something like that. Which, I don't know if he was...
If
he was alluding to Lex, but it was like, everybody knew Lex was the villain. What? That's not...
Yeah.
So the whole movie ends...
should have been a surprise.
Yeah.
That entire... Well, again, and especially considering how it ended, that should have been a surprise.
Yeah.
That would have stunned people if they didn't already know. Because you put Doomsday in a movie, yeah, you know what's going to happen next. Doomsday is there to kill Superman. That's the entire point he exists.
I actually didn't expect that to happen.
Oh, really?
No, like, why would you kill Superman in a Superman movie? Why would you kill Superman in the second movie of this franchise?
But think of it this way. The next movie...
And then it doesn't matter.
The next movie, you're going to have Reign of the Superman.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, well, we've already established how to make a Kryptonian clone that's half Lex Luthor.
There you go. So that would be kind of neat. It's not going to happen, but it would be neat. No. But why did he put his blood... What did that add?
I don't know.
Why did he put his blood in there? What?
It's my blood full of hate.
It's supposed to be like a physically terrible... What is human blood going to add to that?
Oh, okay, well, I have a question.
Yes.
Did he actually piss in that jar?
I think he did.
You think he pissed in the jar?
No, if
Just
anything,
as a prank?
that's pretty dumb because that puts his DNA at the scene.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's pretty stupid.
Well, it does
also,
until it gets blown up.
Yeah. Well, I guess so,
There's
yeah.
piss vapor everywhere.
Yeah.
Piss vapor everywhere.
Superman blamed.
Yeah. He peed in there? That's almost worse.
Right before it explodes, he goes, I have super smell. Is that piss?
Somebody eating a lot of asparagus.
I have to mention one more gripe. I'm sorry. When am I going to have another opportunity? Lois and the spear. That was maybe the dumbest part of the movie. She's just like, I'm going to get rid of the spear and drop it down this thing. And then like 5 minutes later, I need the spear. And then she goes to get the spear, and then she almost dies.
Okay.
Like, she was an idiot in that movie.
Well, no, I see why she got... This is the one thing that can kill my boyfriend. Maybe I should get rid of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, did she know that creature was Kryptonian at that point? Like, when she got
that creature wasn't there yet.
Yeah, I know. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it just...
She didn't think there was going to be a Kryptonian creature suddenly popping out of nowhere trying to kill everybody.
But then, there's any number of ways she could have gotten rid of that, but they chose, like, they wrote it specifically so they could have the moment where she was drowning. It was just kind of badly written.
Yeah. But then there's also the follow-up
Time
to
to get
that.
in this death trap.
Yeah, exactly.
The follow-up to that where Superman has the Kryptonian spear. And what do you do? Well, I'm going to have to die.
I can't give this to someone else.
I can't give this to the warrior woman who's wielding a sword and is down and doesn't have anything in her hand
also,
at this moment.
It's a spear. What else could you do? You could freaking throw it. And he was actually tied up with the lasso at that point, like, so he couldn't move. He's not a moving target, and you have a thing you can throw at him.
Well, again, he had
already, given him the Raditz treatment. I'm just going to hold you while a nuclear bomb hits us both.
Yeah.
That didn't kill either of us. What about a bone? There's a bone through the chest. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll kill a guy.
So, okay, literally every character in that movie was a dumb idiot, except for, I guess, Wonder Woman.
And Alfred.
Alfred's pretty smart.
But he's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
Well,
but
that's okay.
If you had to deal with a universe of dumb idiots and you're one of the only smart people, you'd be pretty grumpy, too.
Yeah.
Headcanon.
Pretty good.